Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole, and in today's Mole Thoughts we talk about Sniper Elite 5. Friends, this is not a review. These are my first thoughts after playing the game for a few hours. But I will give you a pretty good overview what the game is about, what has changed from the previous games, and more importantly, do I feel like it is worth your time, and most important, your money. So let's jump right into it. What is Sniper Elite? Well, I have been playing Sniper Elite since the second game, and Sniper Elite was going through a lot of changes, at least when it came to the general gameplay aspects. Yeah, you have always been playing a sniper. Yes, you have always trying to shoot Nazis, so nothing changed really there, but the maps became bigger, the game became more and more an open world game, and they also tried to become more realistic when it comes to the whole sniper aspect. So they are actually offering you a realism mode at this point where you can just say, nah, I don't really like the arcade feel to this game. Let's make it realistic. And your mission is pretty simple. You are behind enemy lines, you are an elite sniper, and you are trying to sabotage the Nazis or kill some of their officers or all things together, right? And you have to be as sneaky as possible. If you have ever played Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, you will feel a lot of similarities in the fifth game of Sniper Elite. Like, yes, the maps are bigger than ever, but they are still split up in missions. There are 10 missions in total, and the first mission took me about 3 hours plus, but I really did everything there. Like literally everything, all the side missions, all the challenges, and of course the main mission to finish the mission, of course. But it took me about 3 hours. So if you're really doing everything which you can do in those missions, you will probably take about 30 hours to finish the campaign. There's also a multiplayer mode where you can play against other players if you so desire, where you are on like special maps, and then you have team deathmatch, and so on and so forth. Yes, you can completely play the campaign from the beginning to the end in co-op, as per usual, and something they have added, and they took from the Dark Souls game / Elden Ring, is the invasion mode. Yes, you can be invaded now by other players, or you can invade other players if you so desire. Now, if you're not a fan of that, don't you worry, you can deactivate it. You don't have to care about it if you don't want to. All right? So, as I said, you're behind enemies' lines, you're trying to sneak around, and you don't try to be seen by the enemy because you are not a superhuman. You are not a superhero. You are a normal person. Yes, you are a sniper elite, but there are still limitations on what you can do. And if the enemy gets a drop on you or finds out where you are, they will use their overwhelming firepower to just eradicate you. By the way, what you are seeing here in the background is me playing on the hard difficulty. This is not realism, but like the hardest difficulty before it becomes realism. And yes, I do die sometimes. The X-ray cam, as you can see right here, is of course back for the Sniper Elite games. Hasn't really changed from the previous games. I think they have already reached a very crazy level of detail with the previous games on where they are showing you like how many organs they actually hit and the crazy stuff you can do on the map with explosive and other things to really kill an enemy, right? They have already reached the maximum on what I believe you can actually do with the X-ray cam, but the X-ray cam is back again, and you can go for some really cool looking kills. If you hate that system, don't you worry, you can totally deactivate the X-ray cam. So don't you worry about that. If you're like, oh man, like seeing like every second or third shot going like that is pretty annoying, don't you worry, you can deactivate that. So now the question is, of course, what has changed? Well, this is the interesting part. The previous Sniper Elite games, there were always big changes and big improvements to the actual gameplay and how things work. Now, Sniper Elite 5 is much more conservative in that area. Nothing has really much changed from the fourth game, but there are two things I want to highlight. First things first is the workbench. The workbench is one of the big changes, and let me just show you that here in the video very quickly. The workbench is one of the big changes in the Sniper Elite 5 series. Like, yes, that existed before, but this time you can go into some crazy detail on what you want to change on your weapons. And there are tons of choices there. Choices which really change how your weapon behaves and what you can do with it. And they give you also now details on what exactly changed. Like previously, you have always only seen those bars you can see in the middle, right? Like, hey, you are changing the muzzle, so the control goes up or the mobility goes down. But you never really know, like, how much. What does that mean? And now you can already see it here in the middle that there is like a toggle stats tab you can activate, and then the game goes into complete details what every single stat means and how it will change your weapon completely. There's a huge change to the game, but that also means they took a slight step back when it comes to realism, because now every weapon in the game can have a suppressor. Every weapon. You don't need the Velrod anymore. You don't need the Velrod sniper rifle to have your masked shots. Like, you can actually outfit every weapon in the game with a suppressor. And I know what you might think. Whoa, what is this? Call of Duty? Like, what? This is World War II. Like, yes, suppressors were a thing, but not like that, right? You couldn't just put it everywhere and be like, yeah, okay, well, now my all my weapons now have a suppressor. Yes, I know that's weird. I get that. But here's the reality of things. In the previous Sniper Elite games, you were always running around with the Velrod. You were always running around with the suppressed sniper rifle, even though the rifle was relatively shit, but just having the ability to mask your shots is so damn important that if you wanted to have it a little bit easier and not too annoying, you would just run with it, okay? And so they just realized, yeah, well, the people are always going for the suppressed weapons, so why not giving nearly every weapon, not every weapon, but nearly every weapon a suppressor this time around? And the really interesting part here is it works because they are really just suppressors. They're not silencers. It's not like you put like a suppressor on your pistol or even sniper rifle makes your weapon go mute. You will still hear them in a certain range. And depending on the suppressor you're choosing and the modifications you make to your weapons, that range will become louder again. An enemy will hear you quicker. It doesn't completely masks your shot, but it gives you a little bit more room from where you can hide and where you can take your shots from. And so they basically decided to put aside some of the realism and think about the gameplay aspects of the game. And I think that's very important. And so far, it's fun. It's not unrealistic with what they are doing. Again, the suppressors are basically the only thing where you are like, whoa, that's a lot of suppressors there. But everything else feels very realistic. And it gives you also more choices you can now make without thinking about, can I use a suppressor with this? Like, do I really want to change the weapon? Like, I cannot even put a suppressor on there. Why would I do this? Right? Like, you don't have to think about that anymore too much. And again, I think that's a major improvement. Now, one of the other things which got added to the game, or well, have been in the game before but got changed a little bit, is the talent system. And the talent system is giving you the choice on using the XP you were collecting by playing the game and doing objectives and whatnot, and then deciding which talents you want to take with you in the single player missions and co-op missions. And those talents are what you basically expect. I will show this here in a second. There you can see it right now. And it's literally what you expect. Like, you can scavenge for ammunition, you can hold your breath longer, you can like swap your weapons faster, right? They are like small little improvements you have seen in other games before. Or when you are getting here you can see back in the fight, when you were basically getting incapacitated, you can use a med kit to come back from the death's door, right? And continue the fight and all that. And so you want to accumulate as much XP as possible. Now, those were the big changes. And I know what you might think at this point. Wait, that's it? Like, those are the big changes for Sniper Elite 5. Yeah, if you were expecting a completely new game or something crazy, I have to disappoint you a little bit. Like, those are actually the big changes you can now expect in the game. And as I said, they are much more conservative with those changes than they have been in the previous games. And that's fine, because I really believe that they slowly have found their golden formula when it comes to the Sniper Elite games, and that they are getting much, much better in finding the sweet spot in what they want to do. And now they're working on the things they felt like which didn't work out in the previous Sniper Elite games. And I'm okay with that. I have seen too many games in the past. Oh yeah, one of the additions is actually new ammunition. You can have like subsonic ammo or match ammo or non-lethal ammo. Like, you can actually change the ammunition type. But as I said, like, I have seen this in so many games where the games are trying to change things which really, really worked out for them in the past. And you're like, why? This is one of the things which really worked. Why did you rework it? But some of the other areas which really needed some love got completely ignored. Why is that? And they don't do that mistake here. I'm really, really happy about that. So for me, Sniper Elite, if you have enjoyed the previous games, you will enjoy this one. If you hated Sniper Elite 4, you hated Sniper Elite 3, then this game will not change much in your opinion. It is a more refined Sniper Elite 4, and definitely if you have played only Sniper Elite 2 or only Sniper Elite 3, and now you're coming back to the game, you will actually find a lot of changes. If you have played Sniper Elite 4 and you were thinking about coming back to 5, the changes will be not as significant. So all in all, it is a very much more refined game than it has been previously, but it's pretty much still the same game. Now the question is it worth my money? Yes. As I said, if you enjoyed the previous Sniper Elite games, you will enjoy this game. No question asked about it. They made some good improvements on some of the areas which needed some love. You have the multiplayer again. Now you have the invasion mode. You can still play with a friend. Like, yeah, this game is totally worth it in my opinion. If you have Game Pass, well, then it's even more worth it. So definitely check the game out if you have Game Pass. Like, don't miss out on it. Is it worth the full money? Yes, if you enjoyed the previous Sniper Elite games. If you didn't, then no, nothing significantly has changed, which would now change your mind on those games, right? It's as simple as that. It's not one of those must-have games, right? Where you can just say, oh yeah, like nearly everyone will like this game. It's a niche game for a niche audience, and it is good. It is arcadey enough for gamers, but if you want to have a realism mode, it's in there, if you want to go for it. And yeah, I totally enjoyed it. I will definitely finish the game. I will do a full playthrough of it. And by the way, if you want to check that out, you can find me doing so on my live streams from Monday to Friday, starting at 9 a.m. ET on trovo.live/ChaosMole. And on Friday, I will be here on YouTube doing my streams. But I can recommend it. I didn't have really any big problems with it. I did had some weird crashes when I switched from DirectX 12 to Vulkan as a graphics API, but that was the only time where the game was like, I'm not working correctly. But again, playing it in DirectX 12, it runs great. It never dipped under 60 FPS. I have ray traced shadows on. I have everything on high to ultra settings. It looks beautiful. It runs well. I never had any dips or weird loading times. And yeah, I'm really happy with the game. And again, I can just really recommend it if you like the previous games, you like shooters, and you love the idea of sitting like 300, 400 meters away from your target and just send a bullet through their brain or their balls if you are really fucked up. Yes, you can shoot people into the balls, and yes, they have an animation for that. I have actually done so multiple times, but then again, you're shooting Nazis into the balls in a video game, like, you don't do anything wrong with that. But with that said, we are at the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would appreciate if you leave a like. Also, if you want to see more Mole Thoughts videos, reaction videos to big gaming announcements, which are coming starting next week, and some other stuff I'm doing here on the channel, I would appreciate if you might consider to subscribe, because it would really help me out. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.